There is a moment in every mature person's life when they begin to recognize that the world is not shaped by kindness alone, but by the subtle, invisible forces of influence. Most people drift through life believing that manipulation is something loud, aggressive, or obvious. But the truth, rarely spoken, yet always present, is that manipulation is almost always quiet. It hides inside polite conversations, soft smiles, and seemingly harmless requests. It appears in the expectations people place on you and in the pressure to be agreeable, compliant, or emotionally available when it serves their interests. It moves silently, shaping decisions you never consciously made, guiding your reactions before you even realize it. And because of this, most people don't notice manipulation until long after they have been affected by it. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this long before modern psychology had words for it. He observed human nature with unusual clarity, not through idealism, but through an unfiltered awareness of how people behave when power, ego, fear, desire, and self-interest are involved. He saw that many individuals do not manipulate out of cruelty, but out of instinct, survival, and convenience. And because of this, one of the most important forms of self-development is learning how to see the hidden motives in everyday interactions. When you understand these motives, you begin to understand people, not as you wish they were, but as they truly are. This doesn't mean becoming harsh or aggressive, it means becoming awake to subtle pressures, silent expectations, and emotional cues that once passed unnoticed. Awake to the difference between genuine care and strategic kindness. Awake to the quiet ways people pull you toward their desired outcomes. Machiavelli's lessons, when viewed through the lens of modern psychology, are not instructions on how to dominate others. They are blueprints to help you understand the deeper currents of human behavior so that you no longer get swept away by them. They help you recognize patterns, maintain your autonomy, and navigate relationships with a calm, grounded awareness. These ideas do not require you to change who you are. They allow you to protect who you are. As you listen to these insights, allow yourself to slow down. Observe the subtle truths that appear beneath each lesson. Notice how many of these patterns have already shown up in your life, at work, in friendships, in relationships, and even in your family. Many of these lessons aren't dramatic. They are quiet psychological shifts that slowly transform you into someone who cannot be easily influenced, pressured, or controlled. This is not about becoming cold. It's about becoming clear. Let us explore 8 of Machiavelli's most powerful teachings, reframed through modern psychology, that will help you develop a calm, steady presence, one that is grounded, perceptive, and impossible to manipulate. Number 1, never reveal your full intentions. Machiavelli taught that people judge only what they can see, never what you keep private. And this principle remains one of the most powerful psychological protections in the modern world, because humans instinctively form assumptions based on visible behavior, not hidden intention. And when your inner motives are concealed, others are forced to operate on incomplete information. Modern psychology echoes this truth. Mystery is not manipulation, it is autonomy, a boundary that keeps your inner world untouched by the noise of outside influence. When you do not reveal your final goals, you deny people the opportunity to interfere, redirect, sabotage, or reshape your trajectory according to their desires. Most individuals are not malicious, but they are self-interested. They interpret your plans through the lens of how they affect them, not how they uplift you. By keeping your long-term strategy quiet, you remove their ability to project their fears, insecurities, or expectations onto your path. Quiet intention becomes a shield, not because silence is cunning, but because it prevents unnecessary psychological entanglement. The less people know, the less they can resist, envy, or attempt to control. This principle aligns with cognitive psychology's understanding of information asymmetry, which states that the person who holds more internal clarity has structural power over those who rely on guesses. When others cannot predict your next move, you stay in command of your momentum. You are free to adapt, pivot, and evolve without the weight of external opinions shaping your decisions. Silence keeps your mind sovereign. It preserves focus, reduces external pressure, and allows your goals to grow in the dark, protected from scrutiny until they are strong enough to stand on their own. Machiavelli understood that a revealed plan is a vulnerable plan. Modern psychology confirms that a private intention is a fortified one. Your quiet purpose is not secrecy for secrecy's sake. It is self-preservation, self-direction, and self-mastery. The world only sees your steps, not your map. And that is exactly what keeps you impossible to manipulate. Number 2, understand that people act from self-interest. This is not cynicism. It is emotional maturity. It is the moment you finally understand that human beings are driven far more by their internal struggles than by any obligation to be fair, loyal, or consistent with you. People naturally prioritize their needs, their fears, and their desires. They move according to what soothes their anxieties, what protects their reputation, what validates their ego, or what advances their personal goals. And when you accept this, something powerful happens. You stop expecting unrealistic loyalty. You stop projecting your own integrity onto others. You stop assuming people will treat you the way you treat them. You no longer feel shocked when someone switches sides, becomes distant, or acts in self-interest. Instead, you see these shifts for what they truly are: human nature unfolding in real time. This emotional maturity is not coldness. In fact, it frees you from the disappointment and resentment that come from naive trust. You stop giving away power by expecting others to carry the weight of your emotional security. You stop handing people the ability to define your worth or determine your peace. You begin to trust slowly, observe quietly, and allow people to reveal themselves over time. You stop trying to force loyalty out of people who are loyal only to their own convenience. And most importantly, you develop a kind of inner calm, because you no longer depend on others to uphold promises they were never capable of maintaining. You become more grounded, more measured, and less reactive. You learn to respond with clarity instead of emotion. You become harder to manipulate because you are no longer blinded by idealism. You see intentions, not words. You recognize patterns, not excuses. And you understand that true loyalty is rare, not because people are inherently bad, but because most are simply overwhelmed by their own priorities. This is the quiet turning point in your life, when you stop demanding more from people than they can realistically give and begin investing that energy into yourself. That is emotional maturity, and that is where your real power begins. Number 3, control your emotional expressions. Machiavelli valued composure not as a decorative personality trait, but as a central pillar of power. To him, the person who controls their emotions controls the situation. And modern psychological research strongly supports this idea. Studies in emotional regulation, cognitive reframing, and behavioral psychology consistently show that individuals who manage their visible emotions especially in moments of tension, are significantly harder to influence. This is because manipulation always seeks one thing: access to your emotional triggers. When someone tries to control you, they do not attack your logic first. They attack your feelings. They try to spark irritation, guilt, urgency, fear, or validation-seeking behavior. These emotional reactions become the buttons manipulators depend on to steer your behavior without your awareness. But when you master composure, those buttons no longer work. You become unreadable, unpredictable, and psychologically insulated. Calmness shifts the balance of power. When your reactions are steady, measured, and intentional, manipulators cannot decode your internal state. They cannot tell if their tactics are succeeding. They cannot sense your weaknesses, insecurities, or emotional patterns. Their entire strategy collapses because they are operating without feedback, and manipulation cannot survive without feedback. In this state, your silence becomes a shield. Your lack of visible reaction becomes a form of counter-strategy. You show no emotional debt for them to exploit, no guilt for them to weaponize, and no visible anxiety for them to use as leverage. Research on interpersonal dynamics also reveals that emotional neutrality causes manipulators to lose interest quickly. There is no reward to extract from you. And here lies Machiavelli's timeless insight. Composure is not passive. It is active self-governance. It is the refusal to let external chaos enter your internal world. It is the quiet discipline of responding rather than reacting. When your emotions remain under your control, manipulators lose access to your psychological operating system. They cannot influence your decisions, distort your perceptions, or pull you into their agenda. In the end, the calm person becomes the untouchable one, the individual who moves through the world with clarity, sovereignty, and an unshakable sense of inner command. Number 4, know that predictability makes you vulnerable. If people can anticipate your responses, they can shape them. This is one of the most overlooked psychological truths of human interaction. The moment your behavior becomes predictable, it becomes influenceable. People know what to expect, how to trigger you, and how to navigate around your emotional patterns. Predictability gives others a blueprint, one they can use consciously or unconsciously, to steer you toward reactions that benefit them. This is why maintaining a subtle layer of unpredictability is such a powerful psychological shield. Not the chaotic, dramatic kind, but a calm, steady ambiguity that keeps people from fully reading your inner world. When you remain internally stable yet externally unreadable, you deny anyone the ability to pre-program your emotional or behavioral responses. If someone thinks you will always say yes, they can manipulate you through obligation. If they know you'll always react with anger, they can provoke you into looking unstable. If they expect you to explain yourself, they can guilt-trip you into defending choices that don't need justification. But when you respond in ways that are measured, thoughtful, and slightly unpredictable, people lose their ability to script your reactions. Uncertainty becomes your protection. When others cannot decipher your emotional entry points, they cannot weaponize them. When they cannot map out your next move, they cannot box you into theirs. Machiavellian psychology calls this controlling your surface. It means letting people see enough to respect you, but not enough to use you. A Sigma male naturally embodies this trait: calm, observant, and unhurried, but not fully transparent. This subtle unpredictability forces others to treat you carefully, because they cannot assume your compliance or forecast your decisions. You become harder to guilt, harder to pressure, and harder to manipulate. People are less likely to push boundaries when they cannot read where your limits truly are. And those who attempt manipulation quickly get frustrated because they can't find anything predictable to hold on to. In a world where many try to control outcomes by controlling people, your quiet unpredictability becomes a shield. Not by being erratic, but by being unreadable, calm, centered, and always just slightly beyond their grasp. Number 5, learn to read motives, not words. Manipulators speak in emotional language, pressure, guilt, charm, or flattery, but beneath every word lies something far more stable and infinitely more revealing: motive. Human behavior is always motive-driven. A person can disguise their intentions with politeness, emotional theatrics, or well-timed vulnerability, but the deeper patterns never lie. If you want to truly understand someone, you must resist getting absorbed in their tone, their compliments, or their emotional presentations. Instead, pay attention to what they consistently seek, what they instinctively avoid, and what they repeatedly choose, especially when those choices offer them no social reward. Because motives are the engine behind behavior, and unlike words, they don't shift with the audience. A manipulator uses emotional language to pull your attention away from their true agenda. They want you focused on how they sound, not what they are after. They depend on your empathy to blur the clarity of their patterns. But the moment you step back and analyze someone through the lens of motive rather than emotion, everything becomes unmistakably clear. Someone who relentlessly seeks control reveals a hunger for power. Someone who dodges accountability exposes a deep attachment to comfort and a fear of consequences. Someone who continually takes but rarely gives demonstrates a motive rooted in self-preservation, not mutual respect. These patterns shout louder than apologies, louder than promises, louder than dramatic displays. Motives leak through actions, routines, and choices. And the beauty of understanding motives is that it frees you from the emotional fog manipulators rely on. Suddenly, flattery looks like access-seeking, guilt-tripping looks like control, and pressure looks like an attempt to secure compliance. When you interpret people by their motives, they become predictable. Their patterns become a map, and manipulation loses its power. Because manipulation works only when you listen to the performance instead of the purpose. Words may reveal intention, but motive reveals truth. Number 6, do not rush to correct false perceptions. When someone underestimates you, misunderstands you, or doubts you, remain calm. Machiavelli noted that letting people cling to their mistaken impressions often gives you strategic clarity. You learn their true thoughts while keeping your own private. In a world where most people rush to defend themselves, correct others, or prove their worth, choosing silence becomes a form of psychological elevation. It allows you to observe rather than react, to study rather than explain, and to understand the deeper motivations behind people's behavior. When someone misreads you, they reveal what they fear, what they assume, and what they expect from the world. Their projection says more about their internal state than about your reality. Machiavelli understood this. People expose themselves when they believe you are harmless or unaware. Their guard drops. Their words loosen. Their intentions slip through the cracks. And because you are no longer focused on convincing them of anything, you become free to analyze everything, subtly, quietly, and accurately. Remaining calm is not passivity. It is strategic control. It prevents you from wasting emotional energy on people who do not understand your path. It shields you from unnecessary conflict, It protects your long-term goals from impulsive reactions. And most importantly, it gives you a profound advantage: the ability to see without being seen. When you do not fight to correct someone's perception of you, they continue believing what is convenient for them, not realizing that this very illusion strengthens your position. They underestimate your depth, miscalculate your awareness, and assume your silence is ignorance rather than intention. Meanwhile, you gather information. You notice patterns, you recognize hidden agendas, you identify real allies and subtle adversaries. And over time, those who doubted you eventually learn the truth, not because you told them, but because your actions, growth, and results become undeniable. Number 7, set boundaries without explaining them. Every explanation is an opening for negotiation, and most people don't even realize they're giving others permission to push, persuade, or test their limits. The moment you start justifying your boundaries, explaining why you can't do something, why you're tired, why you need time, you turn a firm decision into a debate. This is why high-value individuals, especially Sigma-minded men and women, rely on quiet clarity instead of emotional explanations. A simple, steady, almost effortless "I'm not available," or "that doesn't work for me," communicates strength without confrontation. It shows that your decisions are rooted in self-respect, not in the hope that someone else will approve of them. People feel this energy instantly. They sense that you cannot be pressured, persuaded, or manipulated into abandoning what matters to you. Boundaries are most powerful when they are calm and final, because true authority never needs to shout, justify, or argue. It simply states the line and stands behind it. When you hold a boundary with quiet certainty, you stop training people to push you and start teaching them how to treat you. This is how you reclaim your peace, your time, and your emotional freedom, through firmness without friction and strength without noise. Number 8, remember that distance creates strength. Machiavelli observed that closeness often breeds entitlement, and this insight remains one of the most quietly powerful psychological truths. When people feel too familiar with you, your habits, your softness, your availability, they begin to assume a kind of ownership over your time, your emotions, and even your decisions. In modern psychology, this aligns with the understanding that emotional distance, when used wisely, is not avoidance but a strategic form of self-regulation. It creates a necessary space where your thoughts can breathe without being suffocated by external pressure. Emotional distance allows you to observe situations with clarity, to evaluate intentions without the fog of obligation, and to choose your responses instead of reacting on impulse. The more you detach from expectations and people-pleasing, the less control others have over your choices. This detachment does not mean becoming cold or unfeeling. It means reclaiming your autonomy. It is the quiet recognition that your life is directed from the inside out, not the outside in. When you stop living for approval, you stop being shaped by manipulation. You begin to act from a place of grounded independence, where your value is defined internally and your boundaries become unshakable no matter who tries to cross them. As you move forward from here, remember that these lessons are not meant to make you harder, but wiser. Machiavelli's insights only become dangerous when used to control others. But when they are used to understand human nature, they become tools of inner stability. Most people walk through life unaware of how easily their emotions, assumptions, and expectations are shaped by the world around them. You are choosing a different path, one where awareness replaces confusion and clarity replaces vulnerability. With every insight you apply, you become less reactive and more grounded, less influenced and more intentional. Take your time with these principles. Let them settle into your daily life in small, quiet ways, in the boundaries you set, in the motives you observe, and in the composure you maintain. Strength does not need to shout. Real power is calm. And the more you understand how the human mind works, the more you step into a version of yourself that cannot be manipulated. Not because you resist the world, but because you finally see it clearly. Thank you for watching. Take a breath, stay aware, and I'll see you in the next video.